Realtree's Midwest Whitetail is brought to you by Cabela's, Cuddyback, America's Best Bowstrings, Drake Non-Typical, Easton Arrows, Frigid Forage, Fuse, Grizzly Coolers, Hoyt, and Realtree.
Day 41 and day 42, January 2nd and January 4th. I'm going to bring you 2 video blogs in this one today. Drew and I hunted on Wednesday down in that big bottom field, and it's a spot that lately is starting to get the better of me. I figured for sure we could go down there and one of those bucks that I'd been hunting with the bow would pop out and Drew would have a chance to kill it with the muzzleloader. But we saw several does and 2 smaller bucks, and that was it for the whole evening. And I was wanting him to have a whole bunch of tags so we could start stockpiling some of those does down there. But the county had already sold out on antlerless tags, so we weren't able to go in there with a handful of tags like I was hoping. So he was passing on these does, waiting until the very end, hoping that one of these bucks would come out. It didn't work for us, but I'll get him back out again hopefully before the end of the late muzzleloader season. So there should be another chance yet, and I'm sure he's not choosy. He'd shoot anything I gave him thumbs up on, whether it's a doe or a buck or whatever. So hopefully we can still get his tag filled. So for this evening's hunt, this being the 4th of January, we had a bunch of options kind of in mind, trying to figure out, should we try for some fresh areas and hope for the best that maybe a buck moved in, go back to that area where we've been seeing all those dogs. There's a lot of beans there, so there should be, some deer there, but as warm as it is, are they really drawn to the grain? Then the thought was, well, maybe we should stick with that tube buck and try to kill him this evening. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna jump on the 4-wheeler and loop around and come in from the side, similar to what we did, I don't know, maybe it was a couple weeks ago now, whenever the last time was we went down in there. And it works pretty good because they're used to 4-wheelers in that area. The neighbor that accesses that part of the farm is in and out of there quite a bit with a 4-wheeler, so they're not afraid of 4-wheelers. So we'll be able to drive fairly close to the blind and then keep the wind in our face and sneak across there and get into it. They're gonna have to be feeding on grass. And we've seen that transition taking place every year. I have this time of the year, midwinter, for some reason. It must have something to do with the digestive systems of the deer, but I'll see them increasingly start eating grass. And there is grass in front of that blind. All the big and beasties gone on the tube, which is a couple fields up. And then the clover, I'm sure, is getting picked over pretty good. But as warm as it's been, it's pushing 50 degrees today, and it's supposed to be really nice for the next couple of days. So we could probably start seeing that stuff start growing again pretty soon if it stays like this for very much longer. No, I'm just kidding. It's not going to grow, but that grass is still going to be palatable, and I know the deer will eat that. So that's what we're hoping for. We're going into that blind, and it kind of is in a pinch point in the field where the deer have to narrow down as they travel through there. So it's a pretty good opportunity. The shots there are decent bow range. It's not like we're hunting the great big giant fields where it gets really frustrating with the bow. This is a spot where if that buck does pop out in this field, we got a pretty good chance of getting a shot at him. So I'm gonna jump on the 4-wheeler, and Quentin and I are gonna putt our way around and get into that blind, and hopefully that buck will show up for us this evening. How many deer are out there?
3 that I see right now. They're all bucks.
they all does?
Mm-hmm.
I don't like those limping ones. I should shoot her. Just principle. Ooh, she's giving me the go ahead, the green light. Looks like a big fat fawn. It's got a weird shaped head.
It is not a fawn.
I wonder if it's a shed buck.
You know what? I bet you're right.
I don't think so. I'm not seeing it. I think it's just a weird doe. Oh boy. We're down to about 45 minutes left. About 20 minutes ago, roughly, I shot a doe that was crossing in front of us here. It's interesting, when they don't know exactly what happened, they aren't nearly as, I don't know what you want to say, spooked long term, because the rest of them in that group are starting to work their way back down to the field again. So hopefully I can get a crack at another doe before the night's over with. Just for the sake of information, that doe was about right at 33 yards away. And I aimed, I'd say I was probably just above the brisket line with my 30-yard pin, maybe in that heart range, somewhere in that spot, up and down on the deer. She'd been just a touch nervous when she was crossing in front, so I thought there was a pretty good chance that she would drop. So you can see on the video how she reacted to the shot and where the arrow ended up hitting her. We saw several deer up the valley, one field. I think 3 or 4 of them were bucks, but they were all young. There wasn't anything in there that was even the least bit mature. So we'll bring you whatever action there is for the rest of the evening here. And then tomorrow, I think Drew might go back out again tomorrow. It depends on what he's got going on. He's more interested in a social life than I was at his age. I would have gone hunting every possible second, but we'll kind of see, what the plan is with him. It'd be nice to get him back out. Otherwise, I'll probably be hunting tomorrow night, so keep checking back.